Florida Highway Patrol trooper has died this morning.
We also know that I-95 is shut down in both directions right now in the St. Lucie County area. Here's a look at where a news conference is expected to start in the next hour at the Christ Fellowship Church on Southwest Village Parkway in Port St. Lucie. The Florida Highway Patrol will be addressing there what happened earlier this morning with the death of Trooper Zachary Fink. We, of course, will bring you that news conference as soon as it begins.
And here's a live look at HCA Florida Lawnwood Hospital there in Fort Pierce. This is where we believe Trooper Fink was taken. You can see a massive law enforcement presence there. Our photographer has also seen several, so a lot of people who have been in the area. We know a procession will be held for him later on this morning. Again, we have several crews on the ground asking questions and getting information for you. We're going to have a live report from 95 with one of our reporters still, because there is a huge shut down there on 95 because you can still see the crash scene.
Yeah, let's get right out to Caleb Califano, who is on that overpass there just over the scene. Caleb, what can you tell us?
Well, Natalie, we are on the Crosstown Parkway overpass overlooking this crash. As we pan over and focus past this fence, we're able to see what's been shutting down I-95 both ways now for hours since early this morning. You can just see the large law enforcement presence here. But I want to focus on two vehicles. You can see in the background we have this semi-truck that's flipped on its side, but you can also see the state trooper cruiser there that's heavily damaged as well. Now, as we've been talking about all morning, both sides of I-95 northbound and southbound near Crosstown Parkway completely shut down. There is an extremely large law enforcement presence here, many of them doing investigations, many state troopers as well, just patrolling the area. This area, Crosstown Parkway, completely shut down to go on I-95, but we can see specifically the two vehicles that were involved in this crash, the semi-truck that's flipped on its side in the middle of both I-95 northbound and southbound, as well as that state trooper cruiser there that's heavily damaged as well. Now, there's still a lot of questions about how this exactly happened, and as we learn more about that crash and, of course, how long I-95 is going to be closed throughout the morning and throughout the day, we'll make sure to keep you updated on air and online. But for now, we're live in Port St. Lucie. Caleb Califano, WPBF 25 News.
All right, Caleb, thank you so much. And as you can see from those live pictures that Caleb was just showing us, 95 shut down there in both directions as they conduct their investigation in this deadly crash. We do want to get right over to our traffic anchor, Yasmin Julmis, with what you are seeing, Yasmin.
Okay, Nathalie, so that not only means that I-95 is shut down in both directions in this area, really southbound between Fort Pierce and the Port St. Lucie area, but your on-ramps between that area and Becker Road are also closed down, or Gatlin rather, because Port St. Lucie police did tell me that if you're attempting to get on I-95 heading southbound at Gatlin Boulevard, you can do so. But heading northbound, it is from Becker Road to St. Lucie West Boulevard, and we're also seeing very significant slowdowns, about a 5-mile backup on the turnpike heading southbound. We know that a lot of people are using that as an alternate route, and this crash happened very early this morning before 4 a.m. So we've been seeing significant backups throughout the morning. Zooming in here because there's yet another active scene that's actually in relation to this crash. Police tell me this is at Brandywine Lane and Commerce Center Drive, so please avoid that area if you can. Also this morning in the Fort Pierce area, be sure to avoid the area of 25th Street and Virginia Avenue. I'll have another update for you in a little bit. Aaron?
All right, Yasmin, thank you. And stay with WPBF 25 News for continuing coverage of this breaking news. When we're not on air, we'll, of course, bring you any updates online.
Details now, this is the FHP trooper who died in the line of duty. Zachary Fink was chasing a felon the wrong way on I-95 when he was hit by a semi in Port St. Lucie. Well, tonight we've learned he was just working here in Orlando before being transferred. And Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is joining us live along the interstate tonight. Randy, the trooper had just moved back home.
Yeah, good evening to you. It is devastating to think that he had moved to be closer to home, to work near his mom, stepmom, his dad, and be with his fiance, and then something like this happened. But as you mentioned, he got to start here in Central Florida, patrolling the roads here. He'd worked out of the Orlando office for about 3 years.
sad and difficult day in the state of Florida.
Florida Highway Patrol, family, and friends are now remembering 26-year-old State Trooper Zachary Fink. He died in a crash on I-95 in Port St. Lucie early Friday morning during a chase. FHP says the suspect Fink was chasing made a U-turn on I-95 and Fink followed.
Executed a U-turn and was involved in a very serious crash that took his life, and unfortunately also the life of the gentleman driving the semi-truck. It is a horrific outcome, and it's one that hurts us dearly.
Fink hadn't been with Troop L out of Indian County very long. He transferred from Troop D in Orlando just a few weeks ago after working here for 3 years.
Since he was 6 years old, all he's ever wanted to do was help people. And if you think about the manner in which he lost his life today, it was the very essence of helping people.
The 26-year-old leaves behind his father, stepmother, and his fiance.
I tell our recruits when they graduate that they raise their right hand and they take a solemn and binding obligation to protect and serve our community. But the truth is, they take that obligation, but their family bears the burden of that. And we recognize that, and our thoughts and our prayers remain with the Finks.
Now, FHP recently updated its pursuit policy to allow troopers to drive on the opposite side of the road if they believe there is an imminent threat or danger. Now, as for the person who also died this morning in a semi-truck and the person they were chasing, their names have not been released. Reporting along I-4, Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
Getting our first look tonight at the Broward County man authorities say was behind the wheel in connection with the death of a Florida Highway Patrol trooper and a truck driver on Friday. WPTV's Cassandra Garcia with new details on the man's charges, as well as reaction from Trooper Zachary Fink's family.
The man responsible for State Trooper Zachary Fink's death and a truck driver made his first appearance in court today. 30-year-old Michael Anthony Addison from Lauderhill-by-the-Sea received several charges from 3 different departments. Those agencies include Florida Highway Patrol, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, and the Broward County Sheriff's Office. He was given no bond and faces multiple felony charges, including homicide.
As it relates to those counts, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We do record these proceedings.
Trooper Fink was killed in a car wreck on I-95 early Friday morning while trying to pursue Addison, who deputies say was driving recklessly. Today, we heard from Trooper Fink's mother, Heather Yoki Fink, for the first time. In a statement to us, she said their family is grateful for the outpour of love and support from the community. She added that it still doesn't feel real. Coming up at 11, what this grieving mom had to say about who her son was as a person and what this community meant to him. In Fort Pierce, Cassandra Garcia, WPTV News Channel 5.
All right, Michael Addison. Sir, good morning. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may put your hand down, sir. Please tell me your name.
Michael Addison.
Mr. Addison, you're here this morning for purposes of a first appearance on the following charges. 1 count of fleeing and eluding with lights and siren active. 1 count of aggravated fleeing and eluding, resulting in serious injury or death. 2 counts of murder under statute 7820430, which is when a human being is killed during the perpetration of a murder. 1 count of driving on a suspended license resulting in death or serious injury. 2 counts of murder under statute 7820422. 2 Broward warrants, 1 for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 1 for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Back in St. Lucie County again, 2 counts of vehicular homicide, and 1 count of murder while resisting arrest with violence. As it relates to those counts, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We do record these proceedings. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford one, I'll give you some help. You also have the right to talk to an attorney, family, and friends while at the jail. The jail will make sure you have the ability to do that while you're there. Sir, do you understand those rights as I've advised you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, when you were originally booked in, you indicated that you did need the services of the public defender. Is that correct?
Yes, until I can speak with my family to obtain my lawyer.
All right. So at least provisionally, sir, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You may get an attorney of your own choosing as you wish. State, I do find probable cause on all counts except 782-0430, committing a murder and the commission of a murder. Does the state wish to be heard on that?
Your Honor, I think that should have been subsection Q, which would have been committing, it would be secondary felony murder with the predicate offense being the aggravated fleeing or eluding with serious bodily injury or death. So just ask the court to find PC for subsection Q instead of O.
And I would find...
I'm sorry, that's P, not Q.
It is P, not Q. That is correct. So as it relates to subsection P, I would then find on the oral amendment at this point in time, there is probable cause, again, as it relates to each of the remaining charges. Defense?
Your Honor, this morning, defense is not going to be making any arguments with regards to bond. That's something that we will be reserving for a future time.
Thank you. Michael, you have the right to make a statement, sir. Your attorney or any attorney that you hired would tell you not to talk about the facts of what happened until they can speak with you first. Sir, I'm going to set bond on 3 counts. The rest of your counts will have no bond. Is there anything else that you want me to know before I do this?
I would like to speak with APD Peters for a second and come back to you if I can, if that's possible.
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Addison, good morning. At this time, I'm going to be advising you not to talk on the record at all. We will certainly be able to talk in private, or a lawyer from my office will be able to talk in private. We're not going to be doing that this morning, however.
Okay.
All right.
All right, sir. Sir, as it relates to the fleeing and eluding with lights and siren, the bond is $100,000. With respect to the fleeing or eluding resulting in serious injury or death, bond is $100,000. With respect to the driving on a suspended license resulting in serious injury or death, bond is $100,000. As it relates to all remaining counts, there is no bond. Sir, before you start posting bond for $300,000 on the ones that you can bond on, talk with your lawyer first. It may be wasted money because you can't get out anyway. Understand also, sir, that Broward County has imposed no bond on their warrants. When you've done answering the charges here in St. Lucie County, they'll take you back to Broward on those no bond holds. Sir, do you have any questions today?
No.
That'll do it for today. Thank you, sir. Christopher Beatty.